I resisted impeachment and did resist impeachment until this latest and most serious misconduct.
On the eve of public impeachment hearings, California Congressman Adam Schiff on what makes for high crimes and misdemeanors.
It's Tuesday, November 12th, and this is All Things Considered from NPR News.
I'm Audie Cornish.
And I'm Ari Shapiro. Schiff is the chair of the House Intelligence Committee. NPR's Steve Inskeep sits down with him.
Later, President Trump defends his trade policy amid skepticism about a resolution to the trade war with China.
It was all pain and no gain, and we were sort of surprised by this.
Plus, we'll hear from a pro-democracy activist in Hong Kong about continuing protests there.
And a return to evangelical voters in North Carolina, this time about the president's divisive comments on race.
It's so divisive because no one wants to say Donald Trump is this or Donald Trump is that. We're afraid.
Now the newscast.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm second term, spoke about his efforts to roll back federal regulations. He also again took aim at the interest rate-setting Federal Reserve, saying the body has not been aggressive enough in lowering interest rates, which he says is putting the U.S. in a tough spot.
We are competing against these other countries nonetheless, and the Federal Reserve doesn't let us play at that game.
Position. Tamara Keith, NPR News.
The situation in Bolivia remains fluid at this hour. That follows the sudden resignation of the country's president, something that is sending shockwaves throughout Latin America. NPR's Philip Reeves has more from the capital, La Paz, where he says the situation is extremely unsettled.
This is a divided country, and there's evidence of this everywhere, right here in this city. I'm standing next to a crowd of thousands of people. They're flourishing flags and chanting slogans. These people support Evo Morales, the president who resigned at the weekend and is now in Mexico. Their argument is that he was the victim of a coup. There are thousands of police here watching on in full riot gear, supported by the army. And every now and then a couple of military jets flies over very low in an apparent attempt to intimidate the crowd.
NPR's Philip Reeves in La Paz, Bolivia. An early rally on Wall Street fizzled somewhat nearing the close today, though gains in healthcare technology and communication services helped offset some other areas of weakness. The Dow finished flat today. The Nasdaq was up 21 points. The S&P rose 4 points. You're listening to NPR. The Supreme Court appears to be prepared to allow the Trump administration to end the program that allows some immigrants to work legally in the U.S. and protects them from deportation. It issues the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA. There does not appear to be support from any of the conservative justices to challenges from those wishing to prevent the administration from ending the program. It's estimated there are currently around 700,000 DACA recipients in the U.S. There are believed to be around 3 to 4 million children who are brought into the U.S. illegally by their parents. The nation's largest milk processor has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Dallas-based Dean Foods seeking a buyer after years of declining sales. More from NPR's Wade Goodwin.
For years, American consumers have been drinking less milk and more water, juices, and other drink products. Dean Foods also lost some of its biggest customers, like Walmart, which began processing its own milk in 2017, and Food Lion last year. In a statement, CEO Eric Beringhaus said, "Despite our best efforts to make our business more agile, we continue to be impacted by declines in consumer milk consumption. Dean Foods is hoping to sell itself to the massive farmer co-op, the Dairy Farmers of America, and the company describes the process as advanced." Wade Goodwin, NPR News, Dallas.
Disney's new streaming service appears to be having some growing pains. The company confirming today its new service, Disney Plus, went down hours after launching at 3 a.m. this morning. It's not clear what exactly the problem was. Disney says it's working to fix it. I'm Jack Spear, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Home Advisor, committed to helping homeowners find the right pros for their home projects. Homeowners can read reviews, book appointments, and check cost guides for home projects at Home.
It's All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Audie Cornish.
And I'm Ari Shapiro. The televised impeachment hearings that begin tomorrow will be gavelled in by Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff. As chair of the House Intelligence Committee, he's the one running the inquiry. Schiff has been thinking a lot about these hearings and a Senate trial that would follow if the House impeaches the president.
If it comes to impeachment, there are really two juries. There is the jury that is the Senate, and I would hope that those jurors would keep an open mind, although it's clear that several will not. But the other jury is the American people.
Schiff